And now, please welcome Bilyana de Soto.
I don't know about you, but apart from God's love and His goodness, nothing fires me up about God as much as does the assurance of victory. I think the thread of victory runs very thick and very consistently throughout the pages of the Bible. God has not left Himself unevidenced. And so as you walk through the pages of the Old Testament, it becomes very, very clear that the footprints of victory are everywhere. And of course, as you walk into the New Testament, they just get bigger and bigger. So I don't know about you, but I do have a slight tendency. I think if I wasn't warned so vigorously against gambling, I think I might actually, be a little bit of a gambler inside. But anyhow, for what it's worth, I would like you this afternoon to become a gambler. And I'm asking you to place your bets on the side of two forces. So the first one that comes up is the battle of Gideon against the Midianites. Now, very clearly, you have the choice of 135,000 strong army of Midianites, well equipped, well practiced with their sword skills. And then you have the other choice of 300 men fighting on the side of God and the Gideonites. But before God is finished, He wants to show us that we walk by faith and not by sight, not by the evidence, not by the strength of numbers, not by the number of horses and the strength of the sword. So God very simply says, 32,000 report for duty to Gideon. That's a few too many. They might be tempted to think that the strength is in numbers. So God says, no, give them the option of leaving. So Gideon says, okay, if your heart is beating a little bit too strongly, and if your knees are shaking a little bit, you can opt out. So guess what? How many opt out? Well, 22,000 of them walk home. Gideon's left with about 10,000. But God's not finished yet. So God pares down the numbers of Gideon's army to 300. And if the truth be known, even 300 wasn't necessary. It seems like the Midianites were quite capable of destroying themselves with their own swords. And you know the story, and you know the ending of it. The Midianites were defeated very soundly. So I'm asking you now, had you placed your faith cash dollars on the side of sight and evidence, you'd be a sad and sorry investor, I'd say, at this stage. Okay, perhaps you need a little bit more coaching. So here's another opportunity. Place your bets now. Here is David facing Goliath. Where are you going to place your faith cash? 1, just a boy, just a sling, just a couple of smooth rocks. The other, a giant, probably 3 times his size. And behind him, a vast army, as many as an invasion of locusts, except all of these have helmets and swords and are pretty shiny in their steel armory. You know the outcome. Have you lost some more faith dollars? Did you place your bets on the side of sight? Or did you choose to place your bets on the side of God and faith in God? Now, the New Testament tells us very clearly, we walk by faith and not by sight. But being humans, we don't learn our lessons as quickly as perhaps we should. So here's one more opportunity. Place your bets. This time, this one is for the ultimate gambler. And you're standing somewhere in that rabble looking at the cross. In fact, there are 3 of them. And you're asked to place your bets on the side of this one man who's just dragged his cross all the way, who is totally exhausted and beaten. He's bleeding from the crown of thorns on his head. And the Roman soldiers, and perhaps they were Jewish soldiers as well. And you're thinking, what hope? Facing certain death? Crucifixion? No one's ever got alive out of that one. You're thinking, but then you hear the words, my God, why have you forsaken me? That's it. I'm done. I know where I'm placing my bets. Did you walk by faith or by sight? One more time. And then came Sunday and changed the course of history. The story goes that Jesus was buried in the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea. Or is it Arimathea? And a friend of his asks him, Joseph, why did you give up that beautiful, expensive tomb to someone else to use? And Joseph rather casually answers, oh, it's nothing. He asked me if he could use it just for the weekend. How wonderful. I have a question for you. Are you walking by faith? Or are you placing your bets on by sight? You have one decision to make before Christ returns, and I am not sure if he'll return in my lifetime or not. But the invitation is out. Have you booked your weekend tomb?
To help you understand God's Word in a whole new way, go to goodnewsunlimited.com. You can sign up there to get your free devotional delivered to you each day. This program has been paid for by the partners and friends of Good News Unlimited. Word spreads fast.